Hey y'all, you are now tuning in to the Praying Single Mom podcast, where we love the Lord, we love to pray, and we even love a good slay child, okay? But we also love to get real, raw, uncut, and candid. No topic is off limits here, as we are not after religion, but we're after relationship with Christ. We are not after perfection, but we're after connection. So we'll touch on all topics, from why you need to get out of that relationship that is no longer serving you, to rejection, abandonment, grief, neglect, you name it. From how to be a better parent to how to better that spending habit, honey, because we know how we can get, okay? We let God use us like never before. I hope you know that you're safe here. You can cry here. You can laugh here. Whatever floats your boat and keeps you afloat, okay? I'm your host, Lekeshia Cody. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, how is everyone doing? I pray that you're having an amazing week so far. If not, I pray it gets better for you. And so I just wanted to hop on really quick and talk to the ladies who are still in their season of waiting, still in their season of dating, still in their season of singleness. And I just want to talk to you guys about why you need a man of God. Yeah, why you need a man of God, ladies. And as you know, when we think about man of God, we think about someone who claims to be a Christian or a believer, someone who goes to church on Sundays, all of those different type of things. All of that is surface. Because how do I know? You have guys who say things like, I'm a Christian, I believe in God. And then once you hear that, you feel like that's the okay for you to just move forward with this person. But you really got to begin to look at the character. You really got to begin to look at the fruit that's on their life, right? You got to look at their behavior patterns, look at their actions. Do they mean what they say? Do they do what they say that they are going to do, right? And so I've dated men who claim to be Christian. I've dated men who serve in the church, all the things, right? And what I will say is, when we talk about man of God, you really want someone that has an actual relationship with God. You want someone who not only knows the word, because there are so many people out here today that know the word, but are they living by the word? So you want someone that is not only a hearer and a reader of the word, but you want someone that is a doer of the word. This is key. You can quote all the Bible scriptures. You can have scriptures tattooed on your body. You can have scriptures on your wall. But are you doing what the word says? Are you living out the word? You want someone who loves the Lord, number one. That's Jesus' greatest commandment. Love the Lord with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. Come on. And to love your neighbor as you love yourself. The first characteristic of a godly man is that he loves the Lord. Come on. And then the next one would be to love his neighbor as he loves himself. How does he treat people? How does he speak about his friends? Not only his friends, but when he's not around you, who is he? One thing that I've noticed about men who pursue or date women of God, real women of God, they act one way around you, but when they are around other people, they are totally different people. Come on. How does he act when he's not around you? A godly man understands his role as setting a living example. Come on. Like, how is his character? Come on, he can be a good man, but is he a man of God, right? Does he love the Lord? Does he submit himself to Christ? When we think about 1 Corinthians 11:3, it says, but I want you to understand that the head of every man is Christ. The head of a wife is her husband, and the head of Christ is God. A man of godly character knows where he stands in the hierarchy that God designed. He knows where he stands with God. He knows that God is the head of his life. Not his homeboy, not you. You're not the head of his life. Not his mom, not his dad. He understands that God is the head of his life, and he submits himself to Christ. Come on. That's important. That's important. He loves the Lord. He loves Christ. He submits himself to Christ. And then after that, he submits himself to, his wife. And if he's not married, of course, it will be his family until he is married. A man who loves the Lord will also actively serve the Lord in his home as well as wherever else God has called him to serve. Come on. He will serve. He will serve the Lord actively. And I'm not talking about only in the church. I'm literally talking about being in sync with God, being in sync and just living a life according to God's will. And if he doesn't understand God's will for his life, he's actively seeking a way to pursue God's will. He understands that he may not be perfect and he may make mistakes, but he's willing to do what he has to do. And why are we talking about this, ladies? Because when you think about a real man of God, come on. When you think about a real man of God, and again, don't get this twisted with someone who's going to church. I'm talking about someone who really has a relationship with God, who loves the Lord, devotes himself to spiritual growth. He's really concerned about growing spiritually and being connected with God. They will love you differently. And I'm not talking about in a way that's just for show. I'm talking about when the cameras go off. I'm talking about when social media, when it's not posted on social media, but I'm talking about behind closed doors. Do they have integrity? Are they consistent with you? Are they praying and covering you? Do they make God the foundation of your relationship? Are they seeking God for wisdom and clarity? Yes, they can seek advice from other people, but is it wise counsel? Are they really adhering to the voice of the Lord? Can they lead you as God leads them? A real man of God, he is responsible. A responsible man steps up to the plate. Come on, 1 Timothy 5:8 says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives, especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than any unbeliever. And so a man of God is a responsible person. A man of godly character steps up to the responsibilities. And I'm not only talking about providing full time and or 100%, because you guys can do 50-50. You guys can do whatever works for you. So when I say step up to his responsibilities could simply be covering you. His responsibility could simply be doing what he said he was going to do and just taking action, not lying to you, being faithful to you. Come on. Before even taking on a role of a husband, a godly man will evaluate his heart and his desires to make sure that he is in alignment and that he can do whatever he needs to do to be the man that God has called him to be. He prioritizes as well. A man of God understands that Luke 9:62 says, no one who puts a hand to plow and looks back is fit for the service of a kingdom. A godly man knows that his priorities are what's in front of him and not behind him, right? And so he prioritizes. And as he prioritizes, he will help you to prioritize as well. A responsible man will definitely communicate with you. Communication is key. Communication is so important. And so all of that goes hand in hand. All of it goes hand in hand. So I would just say it's different. And we have to ensure that we are not trying to make ourselves compatible with men who are not equally yoked with us. Because it'll save you a lot of heartbreak. I don't care how well you guys bond over, the same likes. You may like the same music. Come on, you may come from similar backgrounds and all of these different type of things, but you got to ask yourself, are we compatible for where God is taking me? Are we compatible? Are you somebody who will truly, truly be there through thick and thin? Are you somebody who will truly, truly be there through ups and downs? Are you somebody who I can rely on? Are we compatible spiritually? And yes, you need to be attracted to them. Yes, you need to be compatible in other areas, but you definitely want to ensure that you guys are compatible in a spiritual way. You guys may not be on the same page spiritually. However, there should be some type of indication there that he has a relationship with Christ, and a real relationship, not just something that he's posting on his page that he's a man of God. But you need to be able to know that this is the lifestyle that he lives. And women who are listening in, you also want to make sure that you're not just a woman out here claiming to be a Christian girl or this woman of God, but you're not living a life that shows that. We want to make sure that we're moving in integrity, because we attract who we are. We really do. And so in order to attract that man that you've been praying for, you need to do some self inventory to make sure that you are living a life that is even worthy of being called a daughter of God. So I pray that this message blessed you all, and I hope that we choose well and that we choose wisely. I love you guys. Be blessed.